Yeah, it's recording now. So the topic is again, it's all about how to publish with the IEEE, but I just thought of coming up with a different topic. But the meaning is same. Write essential launchpad for paper writing and publication. At any point of time, you have any question, if you have access to the chat box, feel free to drop your question in the chat box. Who we are? We are the world's largest technical professional organization with more than 500,000 individual members who are presented globally in more than 160 plus countries. IEEE is celebrating 140 years of advancing technology for the benefit of humanity, which is our vision. Apart from being a membership run organization, we are also a publisher. We publish world's one-third literature when it comes to electronic, electrical, computer science, and any other related technical areas. As of now, in our portfolio, there are 200 plus journals on these technical areas. We are also a leading conference organizer. So there are a lot of conferences that you will get. As of now, we have more than 7 million documents available on IEEE Explore to which you have seamless access. Out of 7 million, I would say 80 to 85% of the content is coming from conferences because IEEE is hosting more than 2000 conferences every year. That means 5 to 6 IEEE conferences are happening every day somewhere in the world. We are also a leading standard developer. The Wi-Fi card which is installed in your laptop is built upon IEEE standard. The Ethernet slot in your laptop is built upon IEEE standard. The Bluetooth, which you use in your mobile phones or in your laptops or any gadget, is built upon IEEE standard. Likewise, there are 5,000 IEEE standards with different modifiers: active, inactive, superseded, redline, draft standards. We also have a good collection of e-learning courses. These are self-paced e-learning courses ranging from 1 hour to 2 hours. So there are 600 plus e-learning courses available, and as well as a good, rich collection of ebooks, not just from IEEE, from other partner publishers like Artec Publication House, River Publication House, SAE. So there are many ebooks also, options are also available. Ebooks and e-learning courses are add-on contents. So as of now, your subscription is giving you access to our journals, our conferences, and our standards. So ebooks and e-learning, it is the add-on. In case if you are interested, you can get in touch with your library, and we are more than happy to open up the trial for you. Now, when it comes to publishing, the very first word that comes to our mind is where we are publishing. Are we publishing to a journal with a high impact factor? Yes. So the good news is impact factor is something which is not controlled by a publisher. So there is another body. It's called Thomson Reuters. Now they are known as Clarivate Analytics. So every year they release this report. Just allow me a moment. I'll just put on the charger. So this report called Journal Citation Report. And this report will give you an understanding on the popularity of a periodical and how they calculate on the basis of number of articles published in a particular journal in a particular year versus all the citations that all those articles have received. So with that you get some number, right? So when it comes to electrical and electronic engineering, telecommunication, image science, computer science, information system, you can see that IEEE is on the top when it comes to impact factor. Apart from impact factor, the another buzzword these days is quartile. Everyone would like to know that how many journals fall under Q1, Q2. Q3, and Q4, right? That also based upon the impact factor. So here you can see that IEEE leads in top quartile ranked publication. IEEE as a percentage of top quartile publication across key fields of interest, right? So I will just show you something. This is a new portal that we have created, which is called open.ieee.org. Now, when you go to this portal and I just hit enter, it's a free portal. Anyone can access it. You have to go to publication option, and the very last option is IEEE title list. If you click on this and you download the Excel, this will give you an understanding, a complete thorough understanding of all the titles that we have, the journals that we have. That's number one. Whether these journals are open access, close access, or hybrid journals. And then if you move on the right hand side, it will give you the impact factor. That's number one. And also the quartile. This column I, if you see, it will give you the quartile. So now if let's say I would like to know that how many journals fall under Q1. So you can see that there are close to 98, 99 journals that are the part of Q1, followed by Q2, Q3, and Q4. So this is a live list, and we keep on updating these numbers on a weekly basis. So at any point of time, you can come to this portal, which is called open.ieee.org, go to publication options and go to IEEE title list, right? Now, as I've told you that we are major in electronic, electrical, and computer science, but anything that has any relevance with the technology, whether it is transportation or cybersecurity or blockchain or IoT, optics. So IEEE will be able to provide you the solution on that. These are the list of new journal titles for 2024 and 2025. Every year, we plan to add new periodicals. Like as of now, we have 210 journals. Last year, we had around 200 journals. So this is what we have added in 2024, and this is what we have added in 2025. And all these periodicals, magazines, journals, transactions are part of your subscription also. As I've told you that we conduct a lot of conferences, so just sampling of few some of the best examples of IEEE conference, which are published in 2024. These are not just on new technologies, but also on the emerging technologies, mechatronic and robotics, green technologies, unmanned vehicle system, virtual reality and 3D user interfaces. So these are all the conferences, and these conferences are the part of your subscription also. AI, everyone is talking about AI, ChatGPT, Gemini. So how IEEE can help you? So you should come to IEEE to explore AI, yes, because 5 out of top 10 cited journals in AI are from IEEE. AI patents cite more than any other publisher. 31% of the all AI patents references are to IEEE publication. Now, when it comes to the traffic, when it comes to the index terms, that what exactly people are coming to explore in IEEE Explore, the top searches are machine learning, AI, and deep learning. I'm jumping on to the author workshop now. So, although it's rewarding, the publishing process can sometimes be very challenging for an author. What I feel that it requires authors to be extremely thorough in their research and findings. They should follow the best practices in scholarly publishing and do their homework to learn the specific publisher requirement to help to get their work accepted, reviewed, and published faster. Now, the submission, acceptance, and publication process can sometimes takes weeks to months, depending upon a particular journal. There are certain journals in which the submission to publishing time is 1 month. There are certain journals in which it is 3 months, 6 months, sometimes more than 6 months or a year also. That depend upon journal to journal. And the rejection is very likely outcome because the vast majority of papers submitted to a reputable scholarly journal will be rejected, right? However, these quality standards and subsequent rejections are it is a benefit to the scientific process and the scholarly community. Now, there are four main steps when we are writing a technical paper. Choosing the appropriate IEEE periodical, choosing the right journal, which is very important. Because in IEEE, the rejection rate in some of the journals is 70 to 80%. That means 7 out of or 8 out of 10 papers get rejected. And out of that, 3 to 4 papers always get rejected because simply author has done a mistake while submitting their manuscript. So they just read the name of the title, the name of the periodical, and they feel that this is the best fit for my manuscript, for my article, which is not a right practice. And I will tell you that what tools we have available that can help you, free tools for authors to choose the right journal, and what all best practices that you should follow to make sure that you are submitting your journal, your article to a journal which is a best fit for your manuscript. Publishing choices. So where you publish actually matters a lot because you just don't want people to be able to find your research, but on top of that, they should also trust that research. And we have to ensure that the research is published in a journal with the relevant subject, topic, scope, and the right audience for the field of study. Now, if I have to give you an example, if you're writing a paper on artificial intelligence, now artificial intelligence is a broader term. It is used in different industries. If you're writing a paper on AI in healthcare, it should always target journals like Journal of Biomedical Informatics or Artificial Intelligence in Medicine, so that it can reach to a specific readers who are interested in AI application in the medical field. If you are publishing your article in a broader AI journal, it might not reach the intended medical professionals, so which is very important. So we always try to select a reputable publisher and we want to invest our time in knowing the readership of the publication, like who is the right audience, as I've told you. And you also want to make sure that how easily available this periodical is. In IEEE Explore, we get, when we get the usage analysis, every month there are 30 million downloads. And out of 30 million, 10 to 15 million are unique visitors. So what I'm trying to tell you that a lot of people come to IEEE Explore to gain maximum of the exposure. So if your article is with IEEE Explore, so the chances of gaining visibility and discoverability will definitely increase. What is prestige? I've already explained you about the impact factor. Likewise, it's a metric. There are different metrics like impact factor is of 2 year, eigenfactor is of 5 year. Then there is article influence score. And in today's academic landscape, many researchers tend to prioritize these journals on the basis of these metrics, right? So they are commonly used as the indicator of journals' popularity and influence, as I have told you, calculated by measuring the citations with a specific time frame. So all I'm trying to tell you is if there is a journal which is new, like I've shown you a slide where that tells you that how many new journals we have added. Now, to gain its first impact factor for any journal, minimum it will take 2 to 3 years or 2 to 2.5 years. But that does not mean that we should not invest our time in that particular publication. You should look at the aim and scope of the journal. You should look at the editorial board of the journal. You should look at the reputation of the publisher. And then you should decide that whether you should submit your paper to this journal or not. So all I'm trying to tell you is that don't solely or blindly depend upon impact factor. Right? Even if there's a journal whose impact factor is not that high, but still there is a lot of respect for that periodical, for the editorial board in the scholarly community. Now, when it comes to publication, we have two avenues. The question is why? It's all about publishing, right? So why we have journals separately and conferences separately? Because a conference article can be written while the research is ongoing. You can present the prelims or highlight the recent work and gain the live feedback from the audience. This is not in the case of a journal article. It's a fully developed presentation of your work with its final findings or an original research results presented. Clear conclusions that are supported by data. The length of journal article is long. It varies from 8 to 10 pages. A conference article is shorter than journal article, about 4 to 5 pages. So same goes with the number of references. Article may only have few references with less details, but the journal article may sometimes have even 30 references also. So that entirely depend upon the work that you're doing. Now, IEEE journals are 3 times more cited in patent applications, as I've told you. And they are so prestigious, we get a lot of submissions. When you have a lot of submissions, you have a lot of rejections also. Versus IEEE conferences that are recognized worldwide as the most vital collection of consolidated published articles in electronic, electrical, computer science, and related fields. One of the policy in IEEE conference is that if your paper is accepted in conference, you or your co-author has to be there in person to present the paper to the live audience. If you are not there for some reason, it may be suppressed in IEEE Explore and not indexed in other databases. This is a policy of IEEE. You or your co-author has to be there. One of the authors from the team has to be there to present the paper if your paper is accepted. Now, how to identify the right journal? I will just take you to the live platform. Let's say we have a tool which is called IEEE Publication Recommender. See, the final decision is your decision, but IEEE can help you in a way. Let's say I'm writing paper on sensor. So when I come to this free tool, which is called publicationrecommender.ieee.org, and I put in the key phrases, article title or index term or the abstract, I'll click on get recommendation. So it will give me the list of journals on the basis of open access availability, whether they are open access or closed access, on the basis of impact factor, and on the basis of submission to publishing time, right? So if I just put a filter on this, let's say ascending, yeah, we will see the impact factor, number of weeks, and everything. Same goes with the conference, the upcoming conferences. So at least you can, narrow down to three of top five journals, start reading their aim and scope, and start discussing with your professors, with your directors, with your colleagues, with your seniors, with your guides, that these are the top five journals that I have selected or IEEE has recommended. What do you think is the best fit for my manuscript? Right. Second is you have access to IEEE Explore. So whenever you are searching anything in IEEE Explore, right now we are trying to tell you a method on how to select the right publication. Right. Let's say I am writing a paper on machine learning. So now when you hit enter, sorry, just put a, yeah. So there are three, on the left hand side, you have these filters, these facets. If I scroll it down, it will show me the top title. IEEE Access is a journal which has maximum papers on machine learning, followed by journals of IoT and sensor journal and so on. Right? So when you have selected a particular journal, let's say I will go to browse and then journals and magazines, and I want to submit my paper to IEEE transaction on aerospace and electronics. So if you open this, first thing is that you will get a submission button directly on the home page. You see submit your manuscript. Now, this is secondary. The primary is about journal. This will tell you about the aim and scope, the publishing policies, the peer review process, if there is any fee, if it is closed access or open access, right? So you have to be very thorough with this section. Even if you feel confident, start reading articles from this journal so that you get an understanding on the kind of articles that this publication body, this editorial body accepts. On the right hand side, you will see the complete editorial body information. Editor-in-chief is Gokhan Nihan. This is Young, this one, and this is the email address of the editorial board, in case you would like to follow them. Right? Now, how does we do the peer review process? It's very simple and more or less, I think it remains same for all the publishers. There could be minor changes. So the moment you submit your paper, it will first undergo the similarity check, right? That how much plagiarism is there. Once you will pass this stage, your paper will come to EIC, who is editor-in-chief. The first job of editor-in-chief is to make sure that this journals, this article that you have submitted is under the aim and scope of their publication, which is very important, as I have told you. If it is not, the EIC will reject it outrightly. It won't even start the entire peer review process. But if it is, the EIC will assign the paper to at least. So the EIC will assign the paper to associate editor. Now, associate editors, they have the pool of experts on different technical areas. So they will send it to 5 to 6 reviewers with the hope that at least 2 of them will get back to us, because they all are volunteers. They have their own jobs. Right? This is not a full-time thing for them. Every article in IEEE Explore is minimum reviewed by 2 reviewers. So once your paper is reviewed, reviewers send their comments back to editor. Editor makes the recommendation. The associate editor makes the recommendation to editor-in-chief. The paper is accepted, paper is or revise or resubmit, where they see some value in your work, but they still feel there is a lot of scope for the improvement. And the third part is rejected. So EIC makes the final decision and informs the corresponding authors. One of the author will be the corresponding author who will do all the communication with IEEE. What IEEE editors and reviewers looking for, and this is an important slide because as I've told you that you need to be very thorough with the aim and scope. And for that, I have recommended you to start reading articles from that journal where you are planning to submit your paper. So if you are submitting an article, for example, if you're submitting an article on advanced quantum computing algorithms, advanced quantum computing algorithms to a journal that focus on the journal software engineering. So it is not the right fit and might increase the rejection rate. Another example is IEEE transaction on consumer electronics. They only have 10% of the acceptance rate. So that 9 out of 10 papers get rejected. And out of 9, 4 to 6 papers get rejected because simply they were submitted, simply they were because they were out of scope. Level can mean different thing, but one thing is theoretical versus practical, which is not even spelled out in the scope. So you need to become familiar with the publication. Now there is one society, there are many societies in IEEE, around 39 technical societies. One of the oldest society is IEEE Power and Energy Society, PES. All their members are practitioners. So they only accept the paper if there is a practical application in that. If it is not, if it is only theoretical, the chances of getting acceptance will decrease. Extension of previously published work. And this is important because the editorial board always encourage uh, authors to make sure that they are extending the prior work. They are not just merely replicating it. So it should push the boundaries or offer new insights based upon the existing knowledge. So that is the extension of previously published work. So for example, if the prior research, if you are referring to a paper whose which is focused on machine learning models for image recognition, so your paper should focus on machine learning new models for video analysis. So it should jump from image recognition to the video analysis. That's what the reviewer feels, that they are extending the previously published work. They are not merely replicating it, right? Illustration table graphs that supports the data. Well-designed visual aid help in communicating complex data and concepts. So these should be clear, relevant, and integrated into a narrative to enhance the understanding of the readers. References that are current and relevant to the subject. Now, if you're writing a conference paper in 2025 and you're referring to a conference which has happened in 2001 or 1998, that might not be a good idea. I'm not saying that you cannot refer, but especially in case of conferences, the reviewer body always expect from authors that their references should be current and relevant to the subject. So the research is built upon research, and they always look where you are taking it further. Now, this is also important. Why editors and reviewers reject the paper? The content is not good fit for the publication. Each IEEE journal has a specific scope. Submit content outside of this can result in rejection. There are serious scientific flaws. Reviewers will not accept paper that have errors in methodology, equations, analysis, or conclusion. Paper is poorly written. This is one of the most common reason of rejection. The English is not good. The sentence structure is not right. There are grammatical mistakes. So poor grammar, vague explanations, or the lack of clarity in the structure can lead to rejection, as it hinders the understanding of the technical content. It does not address a big enough problem on or advance the scientific field. So papers that are incremental or fail to contribute any knowledge to the field may be rejected. Right? Example, if you are submitting a paper that merely compares existing algorithm for data encryption without introducing any new approach or optimization, will likely there are chances of getting rejected for the missing information or the missing innovative contribution. Right? Publishing structure. This is a typical uh, template, IEEE template for journals. Elements of manuscripts starts from title, authors, abstract, approach, result, conclusion, acknowledgement, and references. So I'll just touch one on. Title should always be specific, concise, and descriptive. You try to write a short title and want to make sure that the index terms that you're using in the title should immediately grab reader's attention. That's the only way and the most effective way that your paper will come on the top. Don't use any jargons, any abbreviations that might confuse the readers, or they might not even know about it. So your paper might get suppressed. So it's better use small title, concise title, but it should be easily understandable. Abstract is very important. It is a standalone condensed version of your article. Abstract is the first point where the user will decide whether they should read your paper or not. So what you did, why you did, how the results were useful and important, and how they are going to move the field forward, and why they are useful and important. So what I've done, I have just taken this BARC approach. So this is my own abbreviation. You write an abstract because you only have 250 words or less. You start with a background, which is B, aim, which is A, approach, which is A, result, and conclusion. So all these components should be the part of your abstract. This is what considered as a strong abstract. It is always written in the past tense. Background, aim, approach, result, and conclusion. Introduction, you have 2 pages out of 8 pages. Here we are talking about a journal. It should be specific, not too broad or vague. It is written in the present tense. It focuses generally on the prior art search, literature review. So write several paragraphs on that. SNS, scope, novelty, and significance. These are 3 important components, elements of the introduction. So you should write on the scope and the novelty and the significance for the reader. That's very important. Methodology, as I've told you, where all your figures, your tables, your equations will come, right? It has to be accurate, correct, that if someone tried to resolve the equation, it should take them to the same results that you are claiming. Results should be clear and concise. Use figures or tables with narrative. In discussion section, we are discussing the results, right? Whether we were expecting these results or we were not expecting these results, and how these results are going to move the field forward. Conclusion, something which will come at the end, and this is my last slide. So abstract in the beginning and conclusion in the end. So what is the difference? Both are summary. In abstract, as I have told you, that you cover everything. You cover background, you cover aim, approach, result, and conclusion. In conclusion, you only focus, your main focus on the results, whether you were expecting these results or not expecting these results, and how these results are going to move the field forward. Right? So that's what the conclusion is all about. And here I'll stop sharing my screen and open the forum for the questions. If you have any question, feel free to unmute yourself and please ask your question. Zainab, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. If you have any question, they can also write it in the chat box. There is.
So there's one question. Can we
Yes.
change or add any author's name after the acceptance of the no? You cannot add the new author name, but if there is any mistake in the author name, so that you can send an email to authors@ieee.org and they will just analyze your request and they will do the needful. But you cannot add once your paper is accepted, the new author. Sure. Thanks, Mintu. Any other question? Thanks, Mohammed. Right, I don't see any other question as of now. We have another session on 3rd of December, which will be focused on the IEEE Explore platform. So I will give you certain tips and tricks. I will give you uh, the I will introduce you to all the new features, and we'll see that how uh, we can explore the IEEE Explore platform more effectively. Right? Just putting
Yes.
my